Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm actually doing an Etsy shop critique. This is one of the many free critiques I do every single month. I do anywhere from 1 to 4. And then some months I do a little bit more depending on how busy I am or not. So if you are interested in possibly winning a free critique, I will leave the link right below this video. Also, if you are interested in learning how to make passive income on Etsy and you have not joined my Etsy course yet, make sure that you grab this free guide. I will leave the link right below this video. It will teach you the 3 essentials that you need today to get started and have your very own printable store. Now, if this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, consider subscribing. I do upload weekly videos to help you build an impactful online business. So make sure that you subscribe today and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first one notified of every single time I upload a new video. So I'm gonna head over to my computer now and you will be able to see if you are the lucky winner today. So let's head over to my computer and see. All right, so here we have today's lucky winner, and the store is called My Print Treasures, and the owner is Rocio Laca. So thank you again for applying, and you are today's lucky winner. Guys, make sure that you stick around all the way to the end because everything that I'm about to talk about on this critique is applicable for any type of Etsy store, regardless if you don't sell digital prints or coloring pages. Everything is applicable. So make sure you stick around, and also don't forget to leave Rocio any advice and tips that you have for her that you will recommend in the comments below. So the first thing that I normally do on a free critique or any critique is that I pick a listing and I kind of do a full audit of that listing. I talk about your photos, I talk about your title, your listing description, and then I talk about the curation of your store, branding, and much more. I break it down into sections. That way it's easy for you guys to follow along, take notes, etc. So let's go ahead and get started. The listing that I picked for this particular Etsy critique is this one right here. And the reason why I wanted to pick this one is because out of the bunch, this is the one that is the hardest to view when you're comparing this one next to this one. So the first thing I want to talk about is product photography. It is so important that you have an amazing photo. Keep in mind that you only have a few seconds to grab someone's attention, only a few seconds. And if your photo doesn't grab their attention, they're going to click on your competitor's photo, which happens to be right next to yours, or right underneath yours, or right on top of yours. So you only have a few seconds to grab someone's attention, make them stop scrolling in the feed, take notice of your listing, click, engage with your listing, look at the additional photos that you have. Hopefully from there, they'll want to go ahead and read your listing description and then make an informed decision if they want to proceed with the sale. But it all starts with the photo. Now, even though this potty chart is really adorable, the photo is not really helping you out. It doesn't stand out on the feed. One thing that I would invest in learning or working with, just in case you don't have this yet, is creating shadows for the actual document to stand out when you sell digital prints, because the customer's, not getting anything physically through mail, they're getting an instant download. You want to make sure that it looks like a tangible item, like something that they're getting. And one of the quickest way is to create a shadow so it could look like it's an actual paper, right? You don't have that at the current moment. It's very flat to the background color. In addition to that, the picture, when I zoom in, it does get cut off. You see, like if I wanted to zoom in and look at the product a little bit better, it gets cut off. And it looks a little pixelated, a little bit. I'm not saying it's a lot, but it doesn't look as clear as it could possibly be. So let's see. Let's just zoom into it. I guess when I zoom into it, it does look a lot better than when I had it just like this. Now, the product itself is, the pricing is right. People do buy stuff like this because I actually have one like this for my son. But what I would recommend is having additional images of your product. I know with something like this is like, how many more photos can I include, right? But what you could do is just be creative with it and have maybe one printed out and you're holding it with your hand, right? It could be another one that you're putting like stickers or whatever you're marking in here. It could be another one that you have in the wall next to a potty, right? Or maybe you could find a mock-up of a bathroom where you could put it at in the wall or something so people could see it, how you use it in real life. But having those additional photos is very important. Always take advantage of what Etsy provides to you. And you have 10 slots plus a video that you could add on every single listing. And if this is your main store, let's say this is the store that you want to take to the next level, that you want to grow, and hopefully one day be able to use this income to supplement your current job, then you have to take it serious, I guess is the word, right? But fill out all of these things that Etsy provides you, because it just gives you more opportunity of hopefully turning that customer into an actual sale, right? And you only have a few minutes to do so. So it starts with the photo, having an amazing photo. Then it goes from when they click on that one photo, looking at all the different photos that you have. You could also add in your actual photos, you could do like a behind the scene, maybe you creating the item. If you have any reviews, which you do, and you have amazing reviews, what you could do also is do a video of all the reviews of your store. I did a video about this on YouTube on how you create a video listing of just your reviews if you don't want to add anything else in there. You could also do a video listing of all the different, maybe you have multiple potty charts, right? So you have this one with the butterfly, you have this one with the little teddy bear. Maybe you could create a video slide showing all the different similar products that you sell within this category in this particular listing, right? Anything to get that person engaged and engaging with your brand, with your product, and hopefully, they'll go ahead and buy from you. But having just the one photo here and having this photo is not enough. You have to fill it up a little bit more. Another thing that you could do is asking people, proactively asking people, hey, favorite this listing, and having like a little arrow pointing to the heart. The reason why you want to ask people to favor your listing is because in the future, if you ever do any updates in your store, if you ever change pricing, if you ever have new items in your store, anyone that favored this item here or anyone that favored your store, and when I say favor your store, I'm talking about when they go here and they favor your store, they will get a free notification for free. And I'm not talking about the email notification. I'm talking about the notification that goes right here. So this is an item that I favorite a while ago. And 4 weeks ago, it went on sale. And I got this notification letting me know, hey, this item that you favorite is now on sale. So a marketing strategy that you could implement that it's not going to make you rich, but it'll get you a couple sales every single month, is that you fluctuate your prices. It could be very slightly. It could be like, let's say once a month, you say, okay, I'm going to run a special. I'm going to take away, let's say 25 cents. Well, anyone that favor your store, anyone that favor any of these listings, if you do like a bulk change, like you change all the pricings of your listings just slightly, everyone will get a free notification, and that's more eyeballs to your store. And hopefully some of those people, when they come back and engage with you the second or third time around, they'll buy from you. And I was reading, and I wish I had the article. I can't remember where I read it, but they were saying that it usually takes nowadays 11 times, which is so crazy, 11 times for someone to engage with your brand before they buy from you. And, I see that in my own business as well, with my other products that I sell besides Etsy. So I totally do think that's true. I have people that maybe saw my products in January and they're not buying till like October of that year. Once I follow the breadcrumbs and I see where they came from, and I look at my analytics and I'm like, wow, that's crazy to think, but it does happen. When you do that strategy that you change your prices, I recommend maybe doing it once a month, maybe twice, not as much. You don't want to overwhelm people with the notifications all the time. But it is a strategy that does work for my main store. I have done it before. I actually do it once a month only on that particular store, and it does help me get additional sales. So that's something that you could start implementing. Obviously, it's not going to be a quick fix of making a lot of money, but even if you get 1, 2 sales extra every month just because of that one thing, then it's worth doing it. Ultimately, what you want to do is analyze your store, and you have to say to yourself, what are the things that I'm not doing or that I'm missing at the current moment that I should be implementing, so that I could, one, learn a little bit more about how Etsy works. Two, so I could have, so I could potentially scale, right, my business to the next level. And even if this one doesn't take off, and then the second time around you open a different Etsy store and that one takes off, because you're applying all the things that you have learned. That's how I was able to triple my income the second year in Etsy, because I took everything that I learned, all the mistakes, everything I learned from my main store, and applied that to my second store. And that one was better looking. Everything was nicer, more organized, etc. And that's how we all learn. I think that many of you guys listening could agree to that. So it's just a learning process. You should be very proud of yourself. This video is never to knock anyone out of what they're doing. Just starting a business nowadays, especially with everything going on, you should be very proud of yourself. Many people don't even get this far because they're too scared, they're paralyzed, they're overthinking stuff, and you're doing it. So just keep working on it, and it'll get better and better and better. Looking also, another thing that you could do is, besides having a picture here asking people to favor your store, you could have a picture of like of other products that you sell. I know I mentioned that on your video listing, but you could also have all of the potty charts in one particular photo, and say, view our similar products. And maybe they didn't preferably like this one, but they see another one that you sell, and they might just go back to your homepage and buy that one instead. So it's just different strategies. Obviously, it's all about testing, trying different things to see what works better for your store. But these are things that I have done. For my wedding store, I usually have a picture of, let's say, the wedding invite. And let's say that's what I'm selling. And then I have another picture that says view matching items. And I have the sitting chart. I have the table numbers. And it does take more work to do that, right? But it does lead me to more upsales. And that's what I'm trying to say. Usually when I have it that way, people actually buy multiple items, and they don't just buy one listing, they end up buying 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the reason why I started doing that. And as soon as I started doing that, my sales started growing because of it. So it is a strategy that works. I have been able to test it out, and it worked for me. And then you could upsell them to other products. Automatically, they'll buy it, especially for events or parties, because people want matching stuff. So that would be my suggestion for your photos. Now, your title, I think you did a really good job. It's not keyword stuff, meaning that every other word is a keyword. However, I don't think you optimize it for keywords as much as you could. So it kind of have to meet the middle ground. Like, you want to make it user friendly, so when people are reading it, they don't get confused on what exactly they're getting. And you did that. It's user friendly. But you also don't want to forget that it has to be optimized for SEO. So you need to make sure that your main keyword is in the beginning of your title. And you also want to make sure that you put maybe 1 or 2 more keywords in the title, so it's optimized for SEO. But at the same time, like I mentioned, make sure that's user friendly. When someone is reading it, they're not getting confused. So you have kids potty training. I'm assuming that's the main keyword because you have it in the beginning of the title. These are your keywords. I'm using, guys, eRank Pro, which is the paid version, in case if it does look a little bit different to you at the current moment. but you don't have that keyword kids potty training as a tag. And I know it's a long keyword, so you will have to break it down into two, but you don't have it. So what that shows me, just from looking at your title, you're not optimizing your listing for SEO. And you have to keep in mind SEO is how you take advantage of Etsy's building traffic. And if you're not optimizing your listing for SEO, you are not driving traffic, you're not gaining visibility, you're not going to get a bestseller. And on top of that, your listing quality score is going to be extremely low. Because when you upload a new listing, and guys, I talk about this in other videos in the channel. When you upload a new listing, and this is from Etsy directly, you could look it up in their Etsy seller's handbook. It's something called the listing quality score. When you upload that new listing, depending on how people interact with that listing, whether they're engaging, they're liking, they're buying or not buying, either you become a bestseller, maybe you rank a little bit higher in the search feed, or maybe you get buried in the search feed. But the only way that you get a listing quality score that is high or a good one from Etsy is by optimizing your listing for SEO. If you never optimize it the correct way, or maybe you did put keywords, but you're targeting the wrong people, like not your target audience, what happens now is that your products get shown to the wrong people. People are not engaging, they're not liking, they're not buying. So your listing quality score gets affected. Or in this case, she didn't optimize the listing correctly for SEO. So therefore, her listing wasn't viewed the right way, like they didn't get the views to qualify what listing quality score she should get. So it's really important not only to optimize your store for the proper SEO keywords, but to make sure that at the same time you're targeting the right people by using unique phrases that describe what you sell, by making sure that you're using maybe even long tail keywords. You could use short tags, of course, but just make sure that it accurately describes what you sell, and make sure that you switch it around. Don't just use the same keywords over and over and over. Use different variations of tags. That way you could reach a larger audience. So that would be my advice for your title. Keep it like this, like how you have it, simple and easy to read. But make sure that once you do your keyword research, you put more keywords in your title, having your focus keyword in the beginning, maybe talking a little bit more about what you're selling, but making sure that you have those keywords. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be like this. And I apologize if it is or not. I don't think it's supposed to be. But it says rainbows. I think you meant to put N here. And then I think you meant to put printable. So unless it's printable, and that's what it's supposed to be, right? Because I know for the one that I have for my son that I got on Amazon, it's just a sticker chart. He gets a sticker every time, and we just put it just to kind of get him to excited. I'm not sure if that's how oh yeah, so it says using stickers. So this one's to keep track using stickers. So I'm assuming this is a typo here, this and this. So, I make typos myself. I'm not the best with grammar. I have learned to slow down. I have learned to pay attention to details is one of my biggest weaknesses, I guess. Is not my biggest strength. And I have had to, take my time and go back and review again. And sometimes I do find mistakes. And it happens to the best of us. Don't get beat down by anything that I say on this video. But just making sure that it reads well. If somebody reads it this way, they'll get confused. They might not even buy from you just because of that. Some people do get turned off by grammar issues. I've been told that before. So keep that in mind. Now, when I look at your listing description, also, it's lacking. You always want to make sure that your listing description has everything and anything the customer needs to know about this particular listing that they're buying. And what I try to always incorporate in the listing is I try to include everything they should know, and additional questions that I know that they might be thinking when they're looking at this particular listing. You always want to assume that it's their first time visiting Etsy, that they don't really know how downloads work. Even though me and you and majority of my YouTube followers do know what printables are, there's many people that don't know. The reason why I know that is because I have a course on printables, and one of the biggest things when I do live masterclasses, one of the biggest concerns that many people tell me is I don't really know what a printable is. So I had to realize, right, that just because I know something doesn't necessarily mean that everyone around me knows it, right? And vice versa. Maybe someone else knows something that I don't know. But you want to make sure that when you're given instructions that you say, in order to download your file, you could go here. If you run into any questions, please message me and I'll be more than happy to help you get your files, open or deliver, etc. You want to make sure that you tell them how to order. When would they receive their files? I even have like how to print your files, where to take them. I always put like you could print at home or you could print at your local printing service, but just going above and beyond to explain to them, right, everything and anything they need to know about the listing. So a quick thing, your photo is what grabs the person's attention when they're browsing through the feed, is what makes them stop and take notice of your listing. The SEO is how they actually found you in the first place. And the listing description is what helps them make an informed decision whether they want to go ahead and proceed and buy from you. So everything works together collectively. They all have a job to do. So you can't have, great SEO, great listing description, and an okay photo. Or you could have probably an amazing photo, but you're using the wrong SEO. So now you're not showing your products to the right people. And on top of that, maybe your listing description is lacking. So you want to make sure that you give this 100% and that you make the changes that you need to make in order to grow. And if sometimes you're stuck and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how else I could make the store better, because it happens to all of us, just go and look at top sellers. And I'm not saying every top seller has it perfectly. I'm not saying that, because a lot of them have so much following already. They have a brand, they have an established business on the side, so they're getting tons of traffic, and they're not necessarily focused on SEO and other things. However, because you're a new store, you don't have no presence right now. You don't have an email list, I don't think, right? You don't have a huge social media platform. The only thing that you have right now is Etsy SEO, and take advantage of that building traffic to drive traffic back to your store. So this is something that you definitely need to do in order to grow your brand visibility. So you want to make sure that if you get stuck, just look at other people, see what they're doing, get inspired. I'm not saying to go copy them. I'm just saying look at what they're putting here and be like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me do a spin-off of that. Let me make it better. Let me make it sound, put your own spin, your own personality, your own unique voice, and then do it that way. So let's look at your tags real quick, and we'll come back to your listing description. So one thing that I noticed with your tags is that you're not using all 13 tags. So you want to make sure that you use all 13. That's going to help you reach more people. The more tags you use, the more reach you get. Another thing I noticed is that you're using a lot of keywords that are very broad. You're using digital, you're using printable, you're using kids, toddler, bestseller. These are things that I will remove. You need to combine them together. If I was looking for a potty chart, I would type in potty chart like you did here. But I wouldn't type in bestseller, right? So I will remove these here. They're too general. And look at the competition too. A lot of people are using those keywords. So therefore, it's going to be almost impossible for you to rank organically for those keywords, because there's already over 50,000 plus people using it. On top of that, they're so broad, those terms, that when you go to Etsy and you type in bestseller, right? Let's say I type in here bestseller. Did you have an S? Yeah, no S. So let me just take the S off. When you type in the word bestseller, look at all the random stuff that you get. Just random things. It has nothing to do with a potty chart. And this is actually not a good choice to pick, because when you use keywords that are very broad, it actually hurts your conversion rate. Because when you show your products and people are not buying it, and you're using just random keywords and people are not buying your products, Etsy is going to say, well, no one's really buying this listing, and they bury you in the search results. However, if it's the opposite, like people are buying it, people are engaging with your listing, then that's how you become a bestseller. So in this situation, you're using a lot of tags that are not really helping you. So you definitely need to work on making sure that you understand what you sell, right? And that you sit down and you think about, okay, 10 to 15 keywords that accurately describes what you sell. You write that down on a piece of paper. You do brainstorming before you do even any research. Once you come up with those keywords, then you will come to tools, keyword tool, and you will put each keyword in there individually, and then you do research and you start to find keywords that match what you sell. And then you want to look at this and this number. These are the two. All of them are important, but these are the two that I normally look at. You want to make sure that the average search volume is 500 or more, and the competition is 30,000 and under. Obviously, the less the better. Now, if you don't find keywords that have those numbers, then you can make an educated guess and look at keywords that doesn't have that much competition, but as long as it has some traction here, you could still use them. And then just check your keywords quarterly. You don't have to constantly be changing your SEO, constantly making adjustments. Just let it be, let them get indexed, see how they work, and then later look at your stats and see, okay, which listings are performing the worst, and do changes on those listings first before you do random changes on any listings. But you want to use all 13 keywords. You want to describe what you sell. Potty chart printable. That's another good one. And kind of go from there. If we go here and we type in potty chart printable, it should tell us how many people are using it. So let's see. So potty chart printable is only 1,400 people using it. It's a good keyword. Now, monthly searches you will have to use, right, this here to see what comes up. But something like that, potty chart printable, will be a good one to put together. It will be broken down into 2 words, and I think that's the reason why your one listing, let's see, that's your listing there. No, I don't think that was your listing. Let me check. It's very similar to yours. No, that's someone else's listing, but they have potty training chart on their listing, you see, and that's why they're showing up here. So, but keep that in mind. You definitely need to work on making sure that you're using the tags that accurately describes what you sell, doing research and seeing if you could get found here, and if the competition is less than 50,000. This one, the competition is only 1,400. The only issue with that is that because it's so low, how many people are actually searching for it? You have to analyze that and see if it's a good keyword based on the search. However, does it accurately describe what you sell? It's perfect. It's a perfect keyword that you could use. And once you have your 13 tags, what you want to do is take the keyword that has the highest search volume with the lowest competition and use that as your focus keyword. So that will be the keyword that you will put in your title that will eventually become the URL title. That will be the keyword that you will use in your first 155 characters, which is your meta description, which is the snippet that's shown on Google. This is what people see on Google, and this information is pulled from your meta description, which is this section here. So you definitely want to work on that, including the main keyword there, describing what you sell, and having some sort of call to action, telling the customer, click to shop now or click to learn more. The reason why you want that is because when people are reading that online, you want them to get enticed and click. They can't see a photo on Google. Now, on Etsy, they do see the actual chart, but on Google, they don't see that. So that's the reason why you want to make sure that you include that in there and say, click to learn more, or click to shop now, or click to get yours today, or hurry, offers end soon, whatever type of call to action is applicable at that moment. But you definitely want to work on that. In addition to that, great job for having a logo. You have it here, you have it up here. You have your products up here as well. You have a picture with your beautiful baby. That's really great. I love stuff like this because it melts my heart. I'm a mom as well. You have at least 43 products. I think that's a good number of products to test out to see what's working. Another thing you might want to look at is at your Etsy stats. What is selling, what is not selling? And start looking at the trends. If you see that these products sell more than these, maybe creating a robust line of these products and removing other products. I mean, I have done that over and over in my stores until I found like my top products. Sometimes that's better than having 100 products, but only people are only buying like 5 products only. So just keep that in mind. Even though having additional products could lead to more sales, right? They could click, maybe not buy that potential product and buy a different product in your store. It could help you as well, but you will need to look at your Etsy stats and see, what are people interacting with? Did they click on other listings? And then that will give you a little bit better idea of whether those listings are helping you or not helping you. Another thing what I would do is making sure that you optimize your store for SEO. You include tags in your tagline here, that you include tags in your announcement section, that you're including your tags here in your name section. That's just for SEO best practices. That you add an about me, you add why people should shop from your store, you share your story, that you have, social media. If you have social media, if you have a blog, you connect it to your store. So making sure that you have completed everything and anything from your store. And don't forget your listing description, making sure that is more enticing, and when people click on it and they're reading here, it has everything they need to know, and sign it off with your name, and even say, hey, if you run into any issues, we're here for you, let us know. Just making it more customer service friendlier, and that will definitely help you increase your sales. But these are my tips for you today. Guys, if you have any additional tips for Rocio, please leave them below. I appreciate it, and I'm sure she will appreciate them as well. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and hopefully you will be one of my next lucky winners. Thank you again. Bye-bye.